Hello, welcome to this platform. Our focus for today will be on GP. So in mathematics, when you see something like this, it means they are talking about geometric progression if it is under sequences. So this is the geometric progression. So I'll give you a few seconds to think or to try to define what geometric progression is. What is all about geometric progression? Let me write something here. So geometric progression is a sequence. It is a sequence in which each term is formed by multiplying the previous term by a constant amount or constant number. So whenever you see something like this, or whenever you hear people talking about GP, geometric progression, it means there is a number which is being multiplied to form the next term. So in this case, if you have something like this, 2, 4, 8, 16, 30, 32, and so on and so forth. What is it that comes in your mind? You can guess that there is a number which they are multiplying to get the next term. So in this case here, they have a 2. So when you say 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 2, it's 4. 4 by 2, it's 8. 8 by 2, 16. 16 by 2, 32. So the constant which is here is a 2, and that 2 is the one they are using to find the next term. So now here we will try to talk about how to find this same constant. And before we talk about finding the constant, we can try to name that constant. How is it named? What is it? What letter is being used to represent that same constant? The letter that is used is R. This R means common ratio. So the R here is a common ratio. So now how do they find this R? They just look at the sequence. You just look at the sequence that you've been given and pick two numbers that follow each other. So I'll pick maybe 2 and 4. So you say R will be equal to 4 divided by the number that is before. In this case, it's 2. So you get your answer to be equal to 2. So whichever number you want to pick, if you want, you can pick these two. So you get the one which is to your right, divide by the one which is to your left. So in this case, we have 16 to my right, divide by 8, which is to my left. I'll find 2. So my R is 2. This is the common ratio we're talking about. And it's very important. This is what makes a GP be the way it is. So, since we've talked about a GP, an R, there are some other things which are involved, okay? There is A. A, we know what it means. It's the first term. Let me put the R again. This R, though we talked about, this is a common ratio. We also talk about the nth. So the nth is simply a term. This is a term. For example, here This is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, sixth term, and so on and so forth. Okay? So there are situations where they can ask you to find the 10th term. We know at sixth position there is 32 at this is fifth. It's fifth term, not sixth position. At fifth term there is 32. At fourth term there is 16. So you may be asked to find the number which is at 10th position. So what number is it? That is at 10th position. I know when you start thinking, it will be difficult for you to find. It won't be an easy thing for you to find. That's why there are ways, mathematicians have thought of ways on how to be finding terms at very, very far positions. So what we do in this case, we use a formula, and this formula is called nth term or 10th formula. So we say T subscript n is equal to A power A multiplied by R power n minus 1. So this formula you just have to keep it in your head. You are not given in an exam. It's supposed to be in your head. Okay. So in the, let's say I want to find the number which will be at position 10. What am I going to do? So I'll say, okay, I have a formula. At n, I'll put 10 because I want the number which is at position 10 is equal to, at A, I'll put 2 because A is the first term, and this case is a 2. And R, I'll find R. The way we are calculating, in this case, our R is 2. You get two numbers, for example, 16, you divide by the number that is before, which is 8, and you find that it's 2. Whichever two numbers that follow each other, when you do what I've done here, you find your R. So since we have put our R there, what is our N? Our N is 10. What we have been asked to find, the 10th position, minus 1. So you can clean up things here. You find that you remain with something like this. So this will be 2 multiplied by this one. You can get your calculator. You find, so 2 to the power 9. It's 512. So this is 512. So 512 multiplied by 2, your answer will be 1024. So this is the number which is at 12th position, 10th position over here. So we now know how to use this formula. Again, there is another formula which is very important. You need, whether you like it or not, you have to know how to use it, though you are given in an exam question. This is the term for sum. So in case you have been asked to, this is a formula for sum. In case you have been asked to find the sum of, let's say, 10 terms, the first 10 terms, how can you use the formula? The formula you are given, it looks like this. So this, you use this formula when R is less than 1. But when R is greater than 1, we use this other formula. It's almost the same. They have just switched this position of R. Here it was here, now they've just put it here. So in this case, we'll use the second one. So we'll say, this is what we'll say. What is our first term? It's 2. Our R is equal to 2. Okay, power n. Here it's supposed to be about 10. Here it's supposed to be 10. It's subscript 10 because we are finding the sum of 10 terms. Here, like this, we have 2 minus 1 down there. So now, here we can work out things. So when we say 2 power 10, we'll find that our value will be equal to this. And then down here, we'll remain with 1. So when we work out what is on top here, we'll remain with something like this. So when we multiply this by this, we have 2046. So this is the sum of the first 10 terms. Okay, again, the other thing which we need to know is the sum to infinity. So sum to infinity, the formula looks like this. You are given in an exam paper, the first page of your exam paper. If you're writing ECZ, you're given. So here our first term is 2 over 1 minus our r. Our r is equal to 2. So we can work out things here. We remain with 2 over here. We have -1. When we divide, our answer will be equal to -2. So that's the answer. All right. Kindly watch the other video where I'll be showing you on how to answer the exam question, 2016 specimen exam question, so that you understand on how the exam questions are asked.